let's do a little exercise on how we think the starters are going to project. So, are we both in agreement on who the starting point guard is? I would assume it is Pop Isaacs in your mind.
I believe it's going to be Pop Isaacs. I believe that so Rylan Griffin.
Are you saying Rylan Griffin? Where do you think he starts?
Probably at the wing, probably a small forward, I would say right now, because
I have him projected as starting at the 3.
Okay. That's kind of where I'm at. And then
I think if you want the best possible scenario for Mackenzie Mbako, you play him at the 4.
Yes.
I think that as a stretch 4 you saw with his shooting, I think that's exactly where he needs to play. It was a little bit tougher over at Indiana to try and play the 3, where his skills weren't exactly showcased. So in a perfect world, I think he should be at that 4. We kind of in agreement on that.
And I think that the center position is going to be interesting because you know what you've got in Federico. You've got a guy who's extremely efficient on the basket, very athletic, a great rebounder. And then you do have someone like Zach Cummins, another guy who can stretch the floor, right? So that's somebody who's going to have a great offseason to really, show that he could start for a team. But he is a wild card because, again, I just hear so much praise from people who just said, well, Kansas never utilized him correctly. And I'm like, man, you don't hear that from a guy who's averaging like 1 point a game.
Usually never, especially from Kansas either.
Exactly, and it does happen at Kansas where they get so much talent there that sometimes like they can transfer and then he just has a better offseason and he just plays over you, and then you're kind of just buried and you're going, look, I got to get out of here. I got to find a team that's actually going to use me.
Guys, they had a guy who was going to be playing 36 minutes a night.
I know.
So
it's on Bill Self, to be honest with you. So.
Where's our prediction in terms of that center? Are we? I
think it's going to be Federico to start the year. I think that's why, because I think the system, and I think we may be in agreement with that, is that they just don't know how it's going to look right away. So having a big man inside that can rebound, play good defense, and get you those easy points, I think that's just a shoe-in right now. Plus, he has so much experience, and you look at how they used him at Texas Tech. They're going to emulate that. It's going to be the same type of deal, and it's just going to be. It's going to. This, I think, in his career, this was the perfect landing spot for him. I think he knew that. I think it's like he probably knew when McMillan ran, and look, he feels like he's going to be under the basket for easy opportunities most of the time.
Yes,
I think that's an easy.
He's going to be able to rim run off of these shot threes. Now, this wild card at that 2 position, I know we're kind of running low on time. Let's kind of think tank this. So, where do we think who gets that starting position at that 2 guard? I know a lot of it's going to be a 4 out 1 in kind of set with a lot of flowing offense. So, this is probably going to be that person who's going to be either up at the top or over on the far side near that corner or wing in this offense. So where are we thinking? Because I have a person in mind who I think should probably be over there.
I would say Marcus Hill right now. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I think that. Yes, I think Marcus Hill is a guy who did not shoot that well from outside. He is somebody who can, but it's just kind of it hasn't been consistent for him. But he's one of the better jump shot guys. He's very precise inside. He's very smart. He's got great instincts, and he's got a ton of experience at a high level. Obviously, coming from NC State, I think he's with Bowling Green before that, so he's played at every level. And I think it's just dependability. I think just having guys out there that just know how to play at this level, they get a feel for it. And if you can do that, especially you have Pop Isaacs and Marcus Hill playing together, I think they're going to figure it out pretty quickly. If you had Pop Isaacs and Jakari Lane playing together, because maybe they just thought, Jakari Lane, a little undersized, but just excellent scorer, right? I think it'd be a little tougher because we just don't know. Jakari Lane was a, give me the ball type of guy. He's not going to be like that in this system. He's going to have to really work with other guys. And I think him or Josh Holloway being the 6th man to come off the bench is a perfect fit for them because they could be instant offense. That's what you need your 6th man to be.
Exactly.
They have an embarrassment of riches right now, to be honest with you. It's kind of hilarious that we can easily put these lineups together because if they didn't get Pop Isaacs and Mackenzie Mbako did not sign with A&M, this would be a very tough ordeal.
Yes.
And we wouldn't really know what this team looks like, but I do believe that Mbako at the 5 spot and Marcus Hill kind of solidifying that shooting guard position is going to yield the best results. And I just, again, those early season games leading up to, I think it's November 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the season, so that's one of the that's not the opener.
It's not the opener, but it's very
early games.
That's starting. So with Marcus Hill, he shot less than 40 attempts from 3.
Yeah. So he can do it. It's just not a part of his game.
He gets downhill quick, not to cut you off, but he gets downhill very quick. He gets both feet in the paint and then plays off of 2 feet.
Yeah. Toughness, right? He's got toughness as a guard. He's got confidence going inside. He's not afraid of contact, and that's going to be big because we know what Pop Isaacs can do from 3, and if you have that, because again, that's what we thought was Zerk Phelps was going to be, and he was for the most part, just downhill. I'm going to take a guy with my shoulder. I'm going to get that easy basket. He had problems finishing layups, but hopefully that's not the case. I don't think that's going to be the case with Marcus Hill. I just don't. But yeah, it's a perfect formula right now for what they have, because I think, and Marcus Hill was a huge addition as well, because like you said, if you had that aspect of your game working, then everything else opens up, right? They always say, like, you can score inside, the 3 should open up, right? That never happened with A&M because we'd be taught, if that happened with A&M, Kenan, we all know that those teams would have been Elite 8 type of teams.
Exactly.
If that was the case, we'd be talking about Buzz Williams would have left. Buzz Williams would be the king of College Station because A&M would have made to a Final Four or something a couple years because their defense was always that good, but they could just never shoot the ball well enough, and it just always ended in the round of 32. So it's like when you have that working, the potential is it's incredible to think of, because this is just the first team under Buck McMillan. I mean, that's just crazy to think. This is a team that I would have thought been like year 2, year 3 with this type of talent. So sky's the limit for this team. It's going to be very fun. I'm excited I'm excited about Aggie football. I am, but I'm even more excited, and I'll be honest with that, about this basketball season, because again,
awesome. Love it.
So many storylines. We're going to hear even more news. I guarantee we're going to hear at least 3 more additions in the coming months to really put this roster together, move on, and then the season's going to be here before we know it. So
it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.